All right. Welcome to what we're going to call Fantasy Football Showdown. We didn't have a show name. We've just been putting live with Fantasy HB and Fantasy J.A.R.V.I.S. So we're going to call it the Fantasy Football Showdown. What is up? A lot of people panicking right now, but it's only week 5. You have 10 more weeks. Let me just tell you, you're the guy that ran all of those reports in our one league. Did you happen to see how many times I did not make the playoffs?
I don't believe that you've missed the playoffs yet.
Yes. So in 7 leagues that I play every year for nearly 7-8 years now, I've missed playoffs 6 times in all of those combined ever. So I just want to say, coming from somebody who knows, it's never over. I've started 0-5. 0-6 was my worst, and I did not make the playoffs in that one. So 0-6 is probably the threshold, but it's not over. You got to make moves. You got to make things happen. But we're going to talk to you about a few things today. I'm wondering who I can burn at the stake and bury and piss on their ashes and be done with them, wipe my hands. I really want to drop a few people, and you kind of turned me on a little bit. I'm gonna blame you. Turned me on a little bit to Golden Tate. Everybody loved Golden Tate, but tell me what we could do with him.
Man, what did he say this week? That he had the full-on catch-ups? I mean, what does that even mean? How do you have the catch-ups? But that guy's dead to me. He's dead to me. He was so promising, being a PPR monster, and has done absolutely nothing. Got benched. Meanwhile, a guy that's new to the offense is getting all the targets. J.A.R.V.I.S playing some is hurting him, and I still think that maybe you could stash him if you needed it.
If you have room on your bench.
If you have room
Did you
on
drop him this week in that one league, or were you just threatening it?
I dropped Golden Tate in 2 leagues. Okay, and here's my thought process, right? So I dropped him in 2 leagues and kept him in 2. And so I'm going to go ahead and start him in one of those leagues because I don't have any other options. And since I did drop him, he will go off this week.
Yeah. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. He'll 10 catch, 120 yards. But no, I think you can stash him on your bench. If I needed a bye week quarterback and I'm looking down and I see Golden Tate's name, he's going to get dropped for the bye week quarterback right now.
Yeah. I'm considering dropping him for the backup defense.
Oh, if you're getting ahead of it and you're streaming D's, it's all right, man.
He's walking on the dead to me line.
Garbage.
I think he's like 78th overall in one of my ESPN leagues in the receiver. It's a PPR league, 75th or 78th. I mean, good Lord, it's like Tyler Boyd is above that.
Oh, man. The frustrating thing is I look down this target deal, and Golden Tate has still got 26 targets, 7, 9, 6, and then this last Yip game, I guess, is 4 targets. I mean, he still gets usage if he can play, but
we're pissing on that fire.
Yeah, I'm done.
What about can you get on board with me about Torrey Smith being god awful yet?
Man, I had hopes for him this year. I did. I had some hopes for him, and they were just hopes because that guy is. I mean, when Jeremy Curley comes in and takes over your job, I mean, something's up.
I have no words. I mean, they could put Kaepernick in, and Kaepernick could be boyfriend on the side with Torrey Smith. You never know, but for right now, I'm jumping. I mean, since the beginning, I know I was never on board with him, but that's somebody. And then Michael Floyd is somebody we both loved coming in. And good God, I get it, Drew Stanton last night, but before.
Well, it's not like Carson Palmer's been beasting the club up or anything. I mean, he's been playing bad. But Michael Floyd, I don't really get it because this guy's in a contract year. And it's like, man.
You'd think he'd be acting an ass out there.
Yeah. And he's just kind of went off the deep end a little bit. We'll call it maybe a little ODB style off the deep end. But yeah, Michael Floyd again. If I've got a spot, I'm gonna stash him a little bit. But the Brown brothers out there are taking all his targets away.
Oh yeah, I mean Jalen and John, something like that. They're good. I mean, John Brown came on though. I mean, at least the last couple of few games, it hurts that Palmer's concussed, but yeah, he's been playing like garbage. Let's just call it what it is. So I think we're going to do a new segment, and we're going to call it the shit show. And
it's a shit show.
Everybody except for David Johnson on that team it's just a shit show. And I'll tell you, another shit show is the San Diego receivers right now.
Oh.
It's just, I mean, yeah, there's talent there, but you can't even pick who to roll out. It's like Dontrell Inman. I loved him going into the season. And he did nothing for the first 2 weeks that he was out. And he's out there like 80% of the snaps and did nothing. And then last week, it's just like,
he went off.
This hero mode.
Benjamin's went off 1 week, Emmons went off 1 week, and Williams has went off 1 week. So it's like wide receiver Russian roulette. It's like,
it is. It's bad. It's bad. I can't even advise who to throw out there. I mean, if you have to fill in for a bye week, you can throw any of the three out there if you have to, because it's just a crapshoot. You don't know. So that's a couple of shit shows out there that really spark our minds. But there's a few more hot topics in the receiver department. You wanted to talk a little bit about D-Hop.
DeAndre Hopkins. So I think we can all just, like you said earlier, call it what it is. I mean, he's underperformed this year. He's had a couple good games, but he's underperformed. And thus far, he's had Minnesota in week 1, and we all know that Minnesota's legit on D. You know, they played Indy, they played Denver, another tough defense. But basically, I want to tell you this: if you spent that top 5, top 6 draft pick on Hopkins, once he gets through the bye week, this schedule becomes very easy, very easy. So if you can weather the storm here for the next 3 or 4 weeks until they get past their bye, this guy's going to pay some dividends in the second half.
What about Will Fuller taking a little bit of the heat off of him? Do you like, this week they're playing Minnesota, which is just, oh my God. Do you like Will Fuller to be, it's terrible, but do you think Will Fuller will come through because D-Hop will draw
some double?
Who is the receiver there, or the cornerback there? I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, he's really good.
I think Fuller helps him. I think Lamar Miller helps him a little bit. He and the quarterback didn't seem really on the same page week 1, and we noticed that, and then he came back on and then off. So, it's kind of inconsistent, but, if you have him, you're starting him against Minnesota. I mean, you have to. But I'm not expecting a big day.
Yeah, and Zach called him Stonehands last time we had a show, and I'll take Stonehands if I'm getting a lot of targets out of it. Eventually he's going to catch one.
I like Fuller though.
Yeah,
he's good.
I do too. Odell Beckham Jr. after crying, cry baby cry. Oh, it was bad. I'm not having fun anymore. No one wants to play with me. Dude, it's a kindergarten deal.
It is.
But
it is. My problem is that I don't think ODB's wrong. I mean, I really don't. I mean, when you have, and I'm going to call him a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL, and he doesn't get targets in the first quarter, what are you doing? I mean, your offense has got to run through him.
It's terrible.
Do they get a bell cow running back over there? Oh, no, they don't.
Oh, my God. That's another shit show.
That's a shit show.
That is a shit show. That is a shit show.
But ODB's got to be your offense, and Shepard's been locking it down like him. Cruz has had some moments, but your offense has got to go through ODB. But here's what I see him doing, man. I just think he tries to catch it with one hand too much.
Yeah,
I see that.
Yeah, he's trying to get on the Sports Center every single time he goes out for a pattern.
He is, but I'm not worried about him getting suspended.
Dude, this week, though, I think is going to be the week. They're playing Green Bay, and Green Bay can stop the run like no other, but they cannot stop the pass at all.
No, it's pretty bad. That secondary over there, they've had some injuries and some stuff. Shields has been injured. But ODB goes off this week, I think. Everything's been in the media about, oh my gosh, he's crying, the Michael Jordan memes and stuff. But ODB is going to get out there, and he's going to be ODB. He's going to be just exactly what he was his first 2 years.
I need him to. I've got him in 3 leagues. I've got D-Hop and Odell Beckham in 2 leagues. And, I thought I home-runned it on that draft. But I think that it's going to be a bounce back for both of them, hopefully, or I'm in some trouble. But I've got a lot of shares of Beckham. I kept him in our league. It was a big spin too. But
he's gonna bounce back.
Yeah,
he's gonna be fine.
Amari Cooper. A lot of people are a little worried, but I think this is the week that he. I know you got him in a few. I got him in one. I think this is the week that he really. He's just due for that big breakout. I think he's going to have at least 2 touchdowns this weekend. I'm calling it.
Man, it's funny. When we were preparing, I wrote down Amari Cooper gets the end zone this week. Michael Crabtree's a really good little safety net, especially around the red zone for Carr. But the talent is with Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
It's not like Crabtree's bad. It's just Amari Cooper's good. And he's been unlucky, man. He had a 60-yard TD called back. He's been open in the red zone when, Crabtree caught touchdown passes. That stuff's going to even out.
Yeah.
Crabtree's not going to catch 3 touchdown passes every week. I like Amari Cooper. Obviously, you're starting him if you have him. But,
you've got to. He's gonna. I think he's gonna end up, at least top 15.
I do too. He's fine. I'm not worried about it.
He came out last year, and I was so excited about him last year, and I really know for a fact this is still going to be his breakout year. I'm not worried about it. I might actually trade for him in a couple of leagues.
Hey man,
somebody else that there's a lot of experts talking about is trading for Doug Martin, because that offense, you can see it without Douglas. And you know how down I am on Doug. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably not going to send a trade for him, but there's a lot of people saying to send a trade for him. But it might not be a terrible play.
I sent out trades for him this week.
Yeah, especially with him. It's a hamstring injury, so he's going to come back. Sometimes those are tricky, but you can see that offense does not operate without Doug Martin. It's not the best offense anyway.
No.
It's a terrible defense. It's pretty much a terrible team and stayed a terrible team. It's like if you have Mike Evans.
That's the only person
that's Cameron Ray coming on.
Ray could have a good week this week, but Mike Evans, I think he's tied for lead league in targets.
Yeah.
So, they just try to force feed him the ball. A lot of that's because J.A.R.V.I.S has been out. But their second half schedule is a lot easier than their first half schedule. So I kind of like J.A.R.V.I.S. If he can get back from that hamstring. The only thing that worries me is sometimes when you come back from the hammy, you tweak it again, and then it's another 2 or 3 weeks, and then now all of a sudden you're just mad. So, definitely don't give away the farm for him, but he could be a guy that could win you a title.
Yeah, I'm personally not making a move for him because I'm still down on him, but there's a lot of people talking about making a move for him. So I'm not going to take you off the ledge from trading for him, but I'm just not going to. Let's talk about, we talked a little bit about the San Diego receivers. Let's talk about the Chicago situation with Kevin White out.
He was just starting to get going. He was just starting to get going.
That's a bad deal. You think Eddie Royale is going to be a beast? Or the guy that's coming up, I can't think of his name.
Man, I think it's going to.
Last week and was pretty beast.
I think it's going to be the Miller, Alshon Jeffrey, Jordan Howard show. That's what I think it's going to be. And you know, I mean, Eddie Royal's going to catch a few passes here and there, and really his value's in the PPR. But you know, I think Alshon obviously is a good wide receiver, and they're gonna pound Jordan Howard.
Dude, Jordan Howard. We were on that.
We were on
I'm just
it.
saying, we were on that. Pay attention. Let's talk about, man, I wrote down something that I know was on your list of things to talk about. I think it's awesome. Is Cole Beasley and actually being somebody that you can plug in. Dak is looking for him. And with Dez out, it's even bigger. We're going to the game on Sunday, by the way. So look for us there. We'll be those guys on TV that are just going nuts. But
I think I'm going to go blue and gray face paint. Would you go with me if I did that?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Our wives are going with us, so they'll listen to us and probably go home with another husband or something. But it's all good. Cole Beasley, he's getting targets, PPR gold. What about J.A.R.V.I.S? We both like him, and he's still the number one guy over there, but it's just like, man, that Mariota is just...
He's garbage this year.
He's garbage.
He's hurting my Delaney Walker share.
He is. Oh, I've got so many shares with him.
You know, I think it's just Mariota. You know, and they're coming out and they just pound the rock.
Man,
they just pound
that shit to DeMarco. He's just going.
He is legit. I was wrong about DeMarco Murray.
I was hating on him too.
I kind of figured he'd lose the job.
And see, we can admit when we're right and we call someone like Jordan Howard, but then if we're wrong on somebody like DeMarco Murray, we can admit that too. It's a nest. We're in the nest. We're sharing.
But I don't like. I don't particularly like Tajay Sharp.
Going forward.
Until I see Mariota play better football, he's not cracking my lineup unless literally I have 12 injuries. Yeah. So
I had to fill him in this week in one league, and in that league that I was telling you about, man, the bye weeks can really make it tricky. And I had to check with like the league rules because I'm just going to take an L because I can't drop anybody in this one league. I've got
the one you showed me.
Yeah, it's like 5 people on the bench, and all of my. I just got Kenneth Dixon off waivers. It's going to see what he can do, and I'm just stacked at running back. I already made a traded away running back, but I got 3 receivers on bye and Drew Brees on bye, and it's just like I'm not dropping any of these people.
You're not dropping Drew Brees.
No, I mean, so it's like sometimes you just gotta take that L, and you check your league bylaws because our leagues, the ones that we're in, you have to put players in there. So make sure you check that before you make any moves like that.
I've got to check with Commissioner Zizzle on that because
it's like a don't set your lineup type thing, but like if you have somebody in there that's on a bye week, maybe that doesn't apply. But see what I did, I threw Eric Becker in there to make it legal.
Yeah,
he's not playing.
Yeah,
and to make it, I mean, there's a player. I threw Michael Floyd out there, and it's the same type deal. He's not playing.
But you know, in those keeper leagues, that's a tough rule because you you may have somebody stashed on your bench.
I've got Josh Doctson just breathing air.
Yeah, Tajay Sharp is one of those guys for me. If I had him on my team, I don't want to drop him because I think next year or the year after he's going to be a beast.
Yeah,
so
it's nothing but value.
Oh, no question. So definitely check those league rules before you go to.
So with Samuel Watkins out over there for Buffalo, Bob Woods is the guy to have, and would you have the cojones to roll him out in your starting lineup?
Okay, so number one, Samuel Watkins is on the stake, wrapped up, and I'm deciding whether to like the match. Because that dude is dead to me. I mean, that guy just
sounds like your 3-year-old has match. You're trying to be like, it's about to go in flames.
But I like Bob Woods, especially in the PPR. He's not going to kill you with a bunch of yardage. He hangs around the line of scrimmage. But I think he's going to get 10 targets a week.
Yeah, he is.
Him and Clay. Clay's going to get targets.
Clay hasn't done much so far, but
been a little injured.
He's always injured. He was injured at Miami. It's just, you rolled him out there when he had a P next to his name, because now Q's, you don't even know how injured they are anymore.
Very Q.
Yeah, very, very questionable is the one that I saw. Adam Kaplan had that on his Twitter, and I was just like, very questionable. That's what we should separate it by questionable and very questionable and doubtful. But let's talk about some backfields. Let's talk about Oakland's backfield with Lat Murray. I know this is a topic you were really itching to talk about.
So, okay, they're going with a full-on committee right now. I mean, they're going with a full-on committee, and which fooled me. I thought Murray was going to get the carries over there, but he's not getting all the carries. They're mixing in a couple different backs there. I think the one that everybody wants to start this week is Washington, and DeAndre has a lot of skills, very quick. But if you're expecting Murray to be out and then Washington to get 20 carries, I think you're going to be mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think that he's going to get 20 carries, but I think he's going to get obviously more work than...
He's going to get an uptick, and he's going to be there on third downs because he's a great pass catcher.
I think he's going to have a receiving touchdown this weekend. Mark it down. He's going to have a receiving touchdown and maybe 75 to 100 rushing. I think he's going to have a big weekend.
Oh, I think
it might be on limited carries,
yeah.
But I think the receiver aspect of it is going to be big time.
I want him to go full on volleyball when they throw it to him in the red zone and hit it to Amari Cooper so he can get another TD.
There you go.
But I'm in on starting Washington this week, especially with some buys. He's not a bad play.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great fill-in. Carlos Hyde is your truth.
God almighty. Okay, so I hate Carlos Hyde's face. I hate everything about Carlos Hyde. I got him last year. He beasted in week 1 and then basically did nothing for the rest of the year. The offense is trash. The defense is trash. I hate Chip Kelly's face. There's nothing about it that I like, yet
The volume is the deal. I mean, when you're the only guy on the team, then you're going to get, the ball's going to come your way.
No doubt.
The only guy. I mean, I get it. Curly, I had Curly when he was with New York, and I plugged him in a couple of times, but he's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, Hyde is the only player on the team, and I hate it because all I've been saying is that he's going to fall off the map, and he's been just 20 a week. But you were talking about Carolina they faced, and he got nothing.
So I think Hyde, although they're using him in the passing game, which definitely helps him, but when they're up against stiff run defenses, if you play in the ESPN league, you can look over there on the right side, and if it's in green, that means it's a good matchup. If it's red, it's a bad matchup. But go over there and look, and if Carlos Hyde is in the green, I think he's a top 15 play every week, which is
top 10. On the verge of top 10 when he's got a good matchup. But
did you do running backs this week? Yeah, you did running backs
this week. I can't remember where I had him, but it wasn't where he's going to finish.
Every week that I do the running back rankings, I go, okay, I'm going to stick Hyde over here. I'm going to wait. And when I don't have anybody else that I like better, then I'll stick Hyde in.
Yeah.
But, man, next week I'm going to stick him up there.
You got to. Moving from one Carlos to another, Carlos Williams, you brought up earlier today, and I forgot all about him, and I saw that he was visiting a couple of teams. And did he sign with anybody?
Well, right now, where it's at, and there's been conflicting reports, and I don't know why, but the latest that I've heard is he's got to work out with the Bills. The whole deal this year was he was smoking a ganj, and he said he had a pregnant wife and he wanted to eat with her.
I gained like 60 pounds or something when my wife was pregnant.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it, but Carlos, I mean, if you're watching, man, I mean, when you smoke the ganj, have some carrots or some yogurt around. Quit eating chips, buddy.
There's like 8 months in the year where they don't get to. It's not random. So remember that. These idiots know when they're going to get a drug test. Yet, it's like, man, start smoking the day after you're scheduled on the calendar drug test. Then go for it. But, I mean, I'm not telling you to.
You're right, exactly.
Come on.
But if you're going to do it, that's when you do it.
Right.
But I like him. Okay, so that offense can run the ball.
He was good when he was there.
He was good last year. And LaShawn, he's looked absolutely great this year.
He has.
But it's LaShawn McCoy.
And he's a little on the old scale.
It's a little bit.
It's fun for us to say, and experts across the business to call people old, and we're like,
he's like 29 years old.
15 years older.
But if Carlos, if they sign him and LaShawn goes down, Carlos is a top 15 option every week. So he's one of those guys that if you want to take a chance, go ahead and
he can step right in.
He can. He knows the offense.
Not like Charles Sims. He can step right in.
Charles Sims is a pass catching back. He cannot run between the tackles.
He is.
Period.
Something else, the Denver quarterback situation. Simeon was throwing passes at practice yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the non-throwing shoulder, and I think that if he gets licked real hard, if he plays and he gets hit real hard, he's going to come out real quick. But do you think that there's just a monstrous difference in Simeon and Paxton Lynch?
I was encouraged by Paxton Lynch at the end of the game last week. He looked good. Yeah. And then I have some shares of Demarius, and it looked like you like Demarius more than Emmanuel.
Yeah.
So I definitely like that. I think Simeon likes Emmanuel Sanders a little better. Although they're both been producing pretty well. I'm not worried either way.
You start both of those guys either way.
Heck yeah. I'm not worried. Paxton Lynch look good.
I think C.J. Anderson's going to have a big week too, regardless. And that was another thing. Drew Stanton coming in last night. Some people were worried, like, man, it's going to be a crappy quarterback. Well, it's been obvious. It's actually been a crappy quarterback all year. So there was no difference, and I don't think there's going to be any difference between Simeon and Lynch for C.J. Anderson. I think Anderson is a matchup guy. He's not matchup proof. Obviously, he had that 1 week where he had like 4 points, but he's going to have a good week. The biggest thing that's happening this week is Thomas Brady gracing us with his badassness at NFL football. I'm sorry, he's a badass. I'm a fan. I like all the best. I like LeBron. I like Kobe. I like Tiger. I like Tom Brady. It's just, I like all the best. I'm sorry, but he is the best.
Hey, I shot T-Bone a text earlier, and we were talking about going to a couple games together and stuff. Because he's my best friend.
Yeah. I mean,
have y'all seen that Matt Damon, Ben Affleck deal? It's a charity thing. It's the most hilarious. I'll show you after the show.
Okay.
You will crack up. They're arguing over who's better friends with Tom Brady.
Oh, man.
And then Tom Brady gets on there and he's like, man, I'm not friends with either one of you jokers. But it's really funny. I would hate to be the Cleveland Browns this week because they're going to get 50 burgers.
It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be the shit show that we talk about next week.
Yeah.
But we know that Brock is a Browns fan, so we're not hating on the team, but it's just not any good.
I will say this, that there was a gentleman that his name might have been Lee Trammell, that I might have said that Isaiah Crowell is trash. And he traded for him, and it turns out that he may be a little right.
Both us.
He ain't finna be right this week, though.
No, it's going to be our buddy that hasn't done anything.
Dookie Johnson.
Man, everybody was on his jock like sweat in the offseason, thinking he's going to be the next best thing. But everybody thought that Cleveland was going to get rained every week, which they should have. It's just kind of been squirrely. It's like Terrell Pryor is like Jesus in a brown jersey.
There's nothing to explain that. It's just like, what happened? How does Terrell Pryor go for $150 on you? I don't know. Did he used to play quarterback somewhere? I mean, what's going on?
Oh man, if I'd had a drink, it'd have been on the webcam. But so back to the game with Brady. man, I picked up Martellus Bennett off of waivers that somebody dropped. In our league.
I dropped it.
You dropped it?
I dropped it.
What are you doing?
I had to have somebody. I had to have wide receivers, man. I lost Keenan.
I'm just saying, I wish I would have played you the week after. Like, I love that, though. Like, when you have somebody that drops somebody, that you're like, why did you drop them? And then you play them the next week and you beat them with that player. That's the best feeling on the planet. But, no, I think that we really get to see what Bennett does, and with Gronk out there. And I can understand, man. If you need players, you need players. If you have what, Delaney Walker?
I got Delaney.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously Delaney's he's the only tight end over there. So it's like, but yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Gronk's been killing everybody. He's coming out and saying that it's not 100% every week, so nobody's really needs to be surprised. But you're throwing him out there if he's playing, or you might have been the first week they came back, but it could be beautiful with Brady back. I'm just saying, it could just be for both of them. And Julian Edelman and Blunt, I think, kind of falls back a little bit. It's going to be kind of like the Crowell thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be like they're not going to be having to hand that ball off as much because Tom Brady, he's just going to fling it.
He's going to fling it all over the field.
And James White is going to step up, and then in a few weeks, Deion Lewis, whenever he comes back, you're going to look like the biggest genius ever. You've been having that dude sit in your arms. If he's out there, I don't think you need to make the move for him right now, but like in a week or two, don't forget about Deion Lewis because he's probably going to be out on your waivers. And it'd be really sneaky to get in because coming down the stretch, especially if you're doing really well and there's no options out there, you're out of fab money. You know, you pick him up for $1. So
no question.
Don't forget about him. We talked about Carson Palmer's concussion. Cam Newton, he hadn't been on the practice field. Doesn't look good. So keep an eye on that. Let's talk week 5.
Okay.
Running backs. I love Melvin this week. We talked about C.J. Anderson. We talked about Jordan Howard. I think it's going to be another big week. Frank the Tank Gore.
Dude, I have Frank Gore in 3 leagues.
It's just a world beater.
Unbelievable.
It's a world beater, dude.
I
I did the same thing, man. It's like right there in that draft. It's like if you went receiver or top end running back and then top end receiver, it's like your 3rd or 4th pick. If you're staring down the barrel of Frank the Tank.
And he
That's a good pun right there.
Hey, Frank Gore's getting carries, and he still catches balls, and he's still a linebacker, and I'm digging it.
You know, Josh Ferguson got a little bit of action, which, dude, I always thought that like last year he was terrible, the whole preseason he was terrible. I mean, obviously you can't run. He had like 2 carries for -3 yards. But yeah, he's the passing down back. But I don't think that they're going to get behind this week versus Chicago. So I think it's going to be pound Frank.
Yeah.
I definitely, I know for a fact he's going to get in the end zone at least once.
I think he gets 18 plus carries too.
Oh yeah. Matt Forte, candidate for a bounce back this week. I know he's been frustrating. I have him in a couple of leagues, maybe 3 leagues.
I'll tell you what's frustrating is that Matt Forte has been playing good football. His quarterback keeps throwing picks. That's what's frustrating. I mean, when you throw 6 picks in a game, Matt Forte's not going to have a good game.
Dude, it's been like 7 picks in the last 2 games. It's something like 8. They're talking about bringing what's his name? Gino. Oh man. What a mess that will be. You think that this is a mess? What a mess that will be.
Geno Smith came out in the media and said, "I got too much talent to ride mine." And I'm like, what talent? Where? I was looking for it, I couldn't find it.
I mean, he tried to be an amateur boxer before the season last year.
He's garbage.
Oh man. LaShawn McCoy, we talked about. Todd Gurley. Buffalo can't. They're a good defense. They are, and finally they shine. Shine, whatever.
Against a weakened team.
Yeah, I don't think that they can stop the run as well as they can the pass.
I agree.
Gurley should get. I mean, I think it's a good week for Gurley.
And you might want to trade him if he has a good week.
Yeah, you could think about it because it's going to be frustrating all year with Gurley. They're going to
so
they're swirling the hell out of it. 3-1 or 3. Is it 3-1? Yes, 3-1.
I wish I'd taken them as a survivor 1 week, get them out of the way.
Oh man. Yeah. We're both going with New England this week in Survivor, by the way. In case you play Survivor and you've made it this far. I got knocked out last week with Arizona one team. It was bad. But DeMarco Murray and Lev Bell did not disappoint when he came back to be.
No.
I didn't get to watch the games on Sunday. I was traveling, but I heard. And
he beats it. I mean, he just looked like Le'Veon Bell. I mean, and they just kept giving him the freaking ball. I was playing against him in a couple leagues, and I had him in a couple leagues.
When you have to watch that, just the score rise, and it's just one player, and you're like, okay, is this game over yet? That's all you're cheering for the clock. For the clock.
Yeah,
for the clock.
With an L.
Not gonna be able to edit that. Terrence West, you've had a few screw-ups, and I just had my first big one.
Yeah.
You said the F word last time.
I did. He wouldn't allow them.
Terrence West and Kenneth Dixon. Man, I think Terrence West didn't work enough to cut Forsett loose, which we were talking about Forsett being terrible, and finally we proved. I mean, they cut the dude.
Twice this year they cut.
West looked good enough last week to be the starter, and I don't think that Kenneth Dixon is going to get a ton of work, but he's going to debut, and I've got to use him in a couple because it's all I've got.
He's going to get some carries, and I know Terrence played good last week. He had over 100 yards and blah, blah, blah. Kenneth Dixon has more upside to the position than Terrence West.
He's really good.
But if we start West this week, if I got
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But in 3 weeks, I'd be surprised if Dixon's not carrying it 70% of the time.
You might even could trade West off after that big game.
You could.
People that don't pay attention at all. You know, I think that the matchup, Washington is awful on defense. They're just awful.
They're not good at football. Period.
What about, we talked about DeAndre Washington as a fill-in and Duke Johnson. We also talked about James. We talked about nearly all these people. Fossey Whitaker, though, this week, without Cam and against Tampa Bay, it's going to be ugly. I mean, even Artis Payne probably, and he's awful. I mean, I could probably run the ball this week against Tampa Bay.
Man,
I could probably get like 30 yards.
The boss is going
to be big. I mean, those guys are kind of big, but I could probably get 30. I could probably go 50 for 30.
50 carries for 30 yards?
Yeah. I could at least 6 inches carry.
6 inches. Hey, the boss is my force of the league this week. I think he's going to have a pretty good game against Tampa Bay. Artis Payne's garbage.
Yeah, he's terrible.
I don't know why.
Terrible to try terrible. You know, if you're going to have a law firm type name like the Jarvis Green Ellis, you better bring it. It's like Clinton Dix. I mean, there's a lot of people that have hyphenated names that are really good at football, and Artis Payne is not one of them.
Especially with no Cam.
Running backs that I'm afraid of this week, the entire Philadelphia backfield, I'm avoiding that. I picked up Wendell Smallwood just to see what happens. But man, I'm avoiding that this week. That's Green Bay. They can stop the run like crazy.
Ryan Matthews is a little girl. I hate his face. He's dead to me. He's on the stake. I'm burning him. But Philly, it's a train wreck over there. Yeah, their defense is legit, and Wentz looks great. So I want, especially this week,
it's not a train wreck. They're about to go 4-0. We're going to have to play them. And it's going to be ugly.
I like Jordan Matthews over there.
Yeah. We talked about the New York Giants backfield being awful. Eddie Lacy on the opposite side of that
I saw the trade.
Oh wait, no, Philly is not playing very good. It's New York Giants. Sorry, I'm gonna go back and correct that. But I'm staying away from Philly running backs regardless. But this week, New York Giants are gonna be playing. So the Giants backfield. I mean, it's already a mess. It's like I started Bobby Rainey in one of the last week because I had to. I mean, it's like I had at one point. Did you see my team? At one point, I had Perkins. I had Rashad Jennings, I had Bobby Rainey. I think I had all three of them. There might have been another Giants running back. Darkwa. I did not have Darkwa. That's the only one I didn't have. But they were just like, who's going to step up? And I mean, I ended up dropping Perkins, but oh my gosh, get away from that. Rashad Jennings definitely did it to me.
I don't know why. Every time I hear Paul Perkins, I want to say Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
It's like a basketball deal. Anyway.
It's up Boston.
It is. Yeah. It could be. Hopefully they win tonight.
Matt Jones, we were kind of like on the verge of being like on board with them. And then it was just awful again. It's like Washington can't run the ball very well. But last week it looked really good. This week I don't like the matchup.
No.
Baltimore might bring him back down from foul line.
But he's kind of like Carlos Hyde. I mean, Carlos Hyde's a better play than him every week. But he's kind of like Carlos Hyde. If Jones has a good matchup, you can start him and he's going to produce.
Yeah.
But if he's playing a top 10 run D, I mean,
it's hard for me to advise to play.
2.2
a carry. Ask me that question. I'm just like, ooh. I haven't had too many matchups.
That dude's a big guy. I actually think he not this week, but I think going forward he's going to be okay.
And Rob Kelly is the sleeper of the league. I'm just saying, we were about to charge money for that sleeper. It was terrible.
We picked him up in 3 leagues. We
were like, okay, guys, we're going to let you know this Rob Kelly. And it was just like,
well, it didn't work out. People ended up getting healthy and they never got on the field. But
I don't know why he hadn't got any chance at all. But
he's played decent in the preseason anyway.
We talked about Crowell. I don't like that matchup. Freeman and Coleman against Denver, hated it. I think Coleman is probably not even going to play because of sickle cell. That's a crazy. Yeah, there's been a few players throughout the years that can't play in Denver. That's a crazy thing. But I don't like either one this week against Denver. It's going to be tough.
No, but if you got Freeman, you got to start him. And what you're hoping for Freeman is that he catches some dump passes for 40 yards or something.
I think that Matty Ice comes back down to planet Earth this week.
Bad he will.
I think he's probably good. You can write this down. 5 sacks, 7 hurries. That's going to happen this weekend.
Is Guerrero back too?
I'm not sure. I think he is. But it's going to be crazy. Lamar Miller versus Minnesota's probably not going to be that good for you. Theo Riddick versus Philly. That's who Philly's playing is Detroit. It's not going to be good. Anybody for Miami.
The only
that's another shit show.
It's a shit show.
Miami.
But at least the coaches came out and said we don't want to do a committee anymore. But there's nobody on the team that's any good.
Right. So it's like we don't want to do a committee anymore, but they didn't name who's going to carry the ball.
No. But I think Arian Foster is going to be the guy
for a week, and then
until he gets hurt again. And then
that dude is it's like Tyler Eifert, like I was saying this week. The dude will get hurt going poopy in the potty. His butt will get hurt. I mean, it's just some people they walk into a door frame. I mean, it's just they can't figure things out.
I wrote Miami running backs versus Tennessee do better.
Wide receivers this week. Antonio Brown, McCringleberry versus the world every week. He's just Big Ben and him this week. It's just that's a great stack for DFS this week. If you pay up for Antonio and throw Big Ben out there with him, it's going to be one of those Big Ben games where he goes for like 9,000 yards.
He does it like 3 times a year.
It's the stat director. It's the stat falsifier. It's the one that just boosts his stats like crazy. You're like, oh, dude, last year he threw for X number of yards. But in 3 games, he threw 90% of that. So that's going to be one of those games this weekend. Odell bounced back. We talked about that. Jordy against the Giants. Jordy and Randall Cobb, I think, are going to. The Giants are so beat up in the secondary that they lost Eli Apple and somebody else.
They were so good in the secondary too.
Oh, they were. It's just a beastly defense this year, and they got injured. But I think Randall Cobb could finally have his game this week.
Man, I hope so. Jordy's looked good.
Yeah.
I was worried about him week 1. He looked kind of ginger and slow, but now he's running past people, catching
I've got Cobb in the league, in our league, and he's one of those guys that you can't jump ship on because he's so talented. It's like it definitely surpasses somebody like Golden Tate because you've seen Golden Tate be good, but Randall Cobb and Golden Tate. It's just I'm ready for him to have a great game.
Quit throwing it to Devontae Adams.
Oh,
the guy's
off
trash.
the field. Go sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
Jeez. Go sit with Jared Cook.
Yeah, he's hurt too. Which I think a sneaky play is maybe that Rodgers.
Rogers, yeah. It could be a good deal.
And
but how are the Giants against tight ends? I think they're D's.
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
That's such a good offense over there. I don't think it matters.
Brandon Marshall against Pittsburgh this week could be big. The Jets can't stop anybody in the air, so I think that it's vice versa. It's the same for both sides, whatever that word is. But I think that Marshall has a big week. I wish Eric Decker was actually playing.
I think he'll have a good game.
Yeah, that could be sneaky.
1 week deal.
T.Y.
T.Y.'s I wrote down the word pillage. He's going to pillage this week. I think T.Y. is going to get targeted 12, 13 times and go haywire.
What are you mentioned that you like Jordan Matthews over there, and he's going to have a good week.
What's the deal that everybody – I hear Slay. Oh, Slay. He gets toasted somehow.
He does.
I don't understand. Why is everybody scared of him? He's above
Vontae Davis put him to shame every week.
I agree.
I'm just saying. We talked a little bit about Edelman. He's got the injury though, which could be. We need his little foot. He's always injured too. But Joe Hayden is probably going to shadow him if I had to guess. But Hayden isn't the Hayden of old days, but he's still Joe. He could have Joe Hayden-ish.
I think
qualities.
Edelman and Brady they're like best friends.
Oh yeah, they high five in the locker room, slap each other on the ass, trade towels, use the same soap.
He's not fixing to miss Tom Brady coming back. I don't think.
Yeah.
So
it should be big time. Steve Smith versus Washington. Dude, Joe Flacco is going to blow this week. Joe Flacco is probably my favorite DFS play of the past 3 weeks. I've just been. Dude, who is this? It's Joe Flacco. He's cheap because he's terrible at football, but you can plug him in and he's swirled out.
Hey, I am so proud of Steve Smith this year.
Come back, dude, and just.
I didn't think he was going to be
a radio host.
Yeah, so did I. I didn't think he was playing football ever again.
Yeah.
And now he's catching 100-yard. Last week he had over 100, maybe the last 2.
Decent.
Washington's not good.
Steve Smith is like the king of the push-off offensive foul that nobody throws flags on.
Nobody, but when you're 5'6" running routes, it's like, man, that's fair.
He's open.
That's good.
He's the same height as the quarterback. That's not fair. We talked about Cooper and Crabtree. Sterling Shepard, another deal. It's just, this week is going to be the bounce back for. I think even Eli could be a good play this week. It's just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's through the air against Green Bay that you can clog them, and Green Bay will get up. So they're going to have to air it out.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that I picked up this week, Jamison Crowder, and I don't know why he was still out there. It was in my 18 league.
Yeah.
But you can plug him in if you need him in a bye week. He's the number one target guy. I'm not sure. You do more of the targets.
Yeah, I think he's got more targets than any other wide receiver on the team. Jordan Reed leads them, but tight end. But Deshaun Jackson's a burner. That
he's not going to get a bunch of targets.
He's not getting a bunch of targets. And Pierre Garçon is at the end of his career, and Jamison Crowder just runs wild middle, similar to like Cole Beasley. I love me some Cole Beasley this week.
Crowder is a PPR.
I'm
using him. I might even continue to use him. It's going to be a matchup thing with him, but man, all he has to do is find the end zone once in the game, and it's just you're probably getting 7 points in just catches. It's not a lot of yardage, so it's 7 for 70. If he gets in the end zone, there you go. You had an 18-point game for him, and that's huge, especially in a flex or something. I mean, God.
He reminds me of Willie Snead.
I loved him last year. You loved him in the offseason and early this year, too. I mean, we're always on the same.
Most of the time, which is frustrating during drafts.
Except towards me. Marvin Jones will probably continue to be good, it looks like, since there's no one else there to catch footballs. I think Ebron's hurt, too, so it's going to be
Well, I've heard that the yips are contagious. So...
if you're playing with Tiger Woods and he's sitting in the shed, you're probably going to hit his back as well.
I know, I'm so bummed. This doesn't have anything to do with football.
No.
LT Gray's back.
LT Gray's back. Terrell Pryor, I mean, good God.
I'm so confused, but I'm starting him probably.
Why
We're going to be down by 50.
Why not? I mean,
probably going to start
and
Barnes.
Josh Gordon's not coming back, so it's just you can.
Is that guy dead to you yet?
Oh yeah. Good God.
I
took in one league I took a chance, and then I was telling myself, I was like, man, and it's only because I had him in the past and he went nuts, but I don't think that guy's going to play NFL football. It's such a waste. It's like that Blackman character, Justin Blackman.
Oh
man, he was a baller
off the deep end
for Jacksonville and just nowhere. And I almost happened to Kenneth Britt, and he kind of came back in a big way. He came back in a big way. I mean, he went off for 8 points, but it's he's been getting 8 points every single week. I mean,
that's a big pass.
That's consistent. Tight ends, man, I'm so crazy about Kyle Rudolph. I think that it's just man, finally this guy. Everybody's been talking about his talent for years, and it's just he's been invisible. It's the biggest white boy on the field. I don't know how he's invisible, but Sam Bradford and him they're high-fiving in the locker room, trading towels and shit. So
there ain't no doubt.
So
I never really knew because Bradford's never played enough football for me to know. Hey, is he a Alex Smith guy that likes dumping it off and then throw to receivers, or is he a tight end guy? I mean, Drew Brees has been in the past, and he's a tight end guy. He likes Kyle Rudolph.
Drew Brees, I'm pretty sure that Colby Finger did not follow his performance with another performance, and
that guy,
it's just that squirrel lucky game.
Man, it's just their offense to me.
They're playing the outside, and they're on a bye week this week, so it's about the most boring thing we can talk about probably. But
I'm worried about Brandon Cooks. Not from the standpoint of Cooks is good or if he's going to have some good games. It's just, man, John Kuhn.
Oh God, he just killed.
He scored 2 TDs last week.
He went ham on a biscuit.
He stole them from my boy.
It was
stole them.
It was awful. Fubu was cussing John Kuhn, and John Kuhn used to kill you if you had any Green Bay running backs. He used to be like, oh, you hear the crowd just go goon, and you just be like.
But that's our point. Drew Brees is not force feeding anybody the ball over there.
No.
Whoever's open This is who's going to get the ball.
Yeah, he's done that for a number of years. Jimmy Graham was a big exception.
Yeah, but he was always open too.
Yeah, he spread the ball out over there. He'll make you famous.
Oh.
He's one of those, I'll make you famous.
How many receivers were like the third receiver over there?
Yeah, it was like that. Henderson, that one guy. Yeah, Kenny Stills got on the map over there. It's like people were like picking these people up. Like, man, they're so good. No, Drew Brees. Drew Brees like 6'2" shoulder pad. You're tied up. It's like it's stuck right there. He made you famous. You got picked up on the team because of Drew Brees.
No doubt.
Speaking of Jimmy Graham,
the guy's looking good, man. I don't know what the deal is. I just think that offense has changed over there. They're not a.
Russell Wilson finally had a decent game. And we're talking 2 weeks ago or last.
He's been hurt though.
Yeah, this last week. But yeah, I had a lot of eggs in the Russell Wilson basket, and he's
just been hurt.
Yeah,
he's going to be fine. Doug Baldwin's going to be big. And
I traded for him in 1 league.
I think you could get him, buy him low because he's
he was coming off of a big game, so it was kind of like I had to pay up a little bit, but I got him, and I feel good about it. Just I had Allen Robinson, Doug Baldwin, and A.J. Green on that team. That's pretty dear day. That's pretty dear day. I'm trying to work a deal right now for somebody else, a receiver, as a backup receiver. Zach Ertz, I think he's going to come back out and just be Zach Ertz, the same Zach Ertz he was before he was injured.
Man, I hope so. I got a lot of shares. I've been waiting on him.
Yeah.
Starting on him.
Another league I saw. Is that a league you were playing with again? Because he was on the waivers, and I was just like, I get it when you have bye weeks and stuff, but.
I think a lot of the people that got running back injured, and maybe had Keenan Allen,
and they had to pick up Bob Rainey and Joy Bell.
Pick up 3 running backs.
It was a good league.
So, Ertz fell down because he wasn't maybe back till this week. But let's hope that he didn't come out and pull an Eifert. But I think he's going to be big.
Man, he was big time last year.
Rookie QB.
Yeah, I think he's just going to continue to be big. Somebody you picked up, Hunter Henry,
he looks good. I mean,
here's a question that I'm not sure if I haven't kept up as well. Antonio Gates, is he on the verge of coming back?
Limited participant the last 2 days, and I got some Hunter Henry shares for one reason I don't really know, so he can play this.
It's just like when Ladarius Green, people had him, it was like Antonio Gates might be back. Is it gonna completely just drain the life out of Hunter Henry?
I think they're so depleted that I could see Hunter still getting some snaps, but when Gates is there, I mean, there's like a bromance going on between them.
Yeah, it's just throwing another kink in that whole receiving core for the shit show.
It's going to be a shit show, but Gates, I think, is probably going to retire after this year, and Henry will be a guy that you can get next year.
But Gates is like 8 touchdowns away from Tony Gonzo's TD record.
Dude, he might be pushing himself down the field in a wheelchair.
I don't know. But that, I know that he's like maybe 8 away from that record. So if he's a record guy, he's gonna fight through it. But
are you saying Phillip Rivers is gonna force feed it to Antonio Gates in the red zone?
Could be.
Could be.
We talked about Cameron Brate coming on.
I think Barnage. Okay, so he's another guy I like this week.
Barnage,
and I know he hadn't had much usage, but you're going to be down by a 50 burger, and they're going to have to throw the pellet. So,
dude, you know what I love about New England? Is they don't call the dogs off.
No, they just keep.
They're just like Belichick's like that ain't enough. What are you doing? We're down. It's like they're up 35-0, and he's just like. We could lose this. Coach, there's 30 seconds left on the clock. We could lose this. Get out there, go long. I love that though, because whoever's playing New England with Brady back is just like you can just guarantee that they're going to have to air it out at least like 60 times. I mean,
I just don't. I didn't have any LeGarrette Blount anywhere, but I've seen a couple trades, and we were in the league, and we didn't veto it, but Blount got traded for Edward Lacey.
Yeah, and you know, for me, I don't know even which side of that. For me, it's just like,
I want the side that the guy's going to carry the ball.
Yeah, Eddie Lacy is definitely going to get it.
He's going to touch it.
Worry about J.A.R.V.I.S coming back or change why. I mean, every time this is James starts and you want to pull your hair out.
Dude, but like with Belichick, you just don't know. I mean, with the quarterback on, he just kind of dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he did. But when Brady's back, man, they're going to pick up some third stringer. We don't even know his name. Starting this week, go for 100.
Yeah, they could do that. They could pull somebody out of the grandstands like Mike Leach did for the kicker at Texas Tech one year. He's just like, we don't have any options at kicker. I came on the PA and was like, see anybody out there know how to kick football? Put a guy on the football team from the grandstands. Not kidding. That's like Belichick. He's like, hey, I seen that beer boy run up and down the stairs pretty good. He's been slinging the beers. He's real quick. I think they're going to sign him next week. He's starting back.
I wanted to talk a couple things. Just I think targets are huge. We were talking about a couple wide receivers. Like Michael Floyd and some things. Larry Fitzgerald's leading the NFL in targets at this point, right now. Leading the NFL. Mike Evans and Antonio Brown are right there. A name that you may or may not know is Jeremy Curley is 4th in the league in targets. Jeremy Curley.
But is that after, like...
That's after last night. So he's got one more game.
Yeah, okay.
He's got one more game, and there's been some people on bias, but he's still... I mean, the fact that he's on the list is pretty special.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry, obviously, is up there, T.Y., Manuel Sanders. And for the guys that were worried about it, he bounced back. Allen Robinson is up there in the top 10 targets as well.
Is that Beckham Jr. up there?
Yeah, he's down there about 12.
It's like, man, he's crying, but
he's still getting some targets.
It's the one-hander deal. I know we're going back to a topic we already talked about, but it's very important to me because so many teams of mine.
He tries to posterize you on every single play, and he's elite. Guys, this guy is a competitor. I know he said he's not having any fun, all that kind of stuff. He's going to have some fun this week.
He doesn't like getting beat.
He don't like getting beat. Yeah, okay, so, the punter net takes him up last week.
That's how you get him, though, is if you have a good corner that is chippy and goes at it. There used to be so many matchups that you love to watch. I mean, Dion had a couple of arch enemies back in the day.
Michael Irvin was one of them when he played for San Francisco.
Yeah, so it's like that's how you should. If you pay really close attention to the matchups with Beckham Jr. and you know which week is. I mean, you got to start him every week, but you know which week is going to be like, man, I need the rest of these guys on my team to really come through this week because he ain't getting DeAndre Hopkins this week. You're going to need the rest of your team. You're going to have to sit him down and have a pep talk because he's not getting. It's going to be a follow-up of a bad week with a bad week. What about quarterbacks? Like I said earlier, Big Ben. We talked about Wentz. I like him this week. Phil Rivers against Oakland. Oakland, they just opened the gate on defense.
Come on, man. Yeah, get up.
They can't stop. That's probably why our car is going down like this is because it's just like. And there's a lot of people that were big on the Oakland defense before the season.
They did some work on it, but a lot of it's rookie work. And I think in the next couple of years they're going to be good, just like Jacksonville.
Yeah.
They did some work on their defense, and they're not any better this year, but they're rookies.
Yeah.
I think in the next couple of years they'll definitely raise the bar there. But yeah, so that's why I like Amari Cooper every week.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're going to get points scored on, and they're going to have to pass the ball game. So San Diego, Indy. Yeah, T.Y.'s a beast.
Blake Bortles, Jacksonville is going to be down every week. There's a lot of teams.
they're going to be down, and those are the players that you want on your team.
Yeah, I mean, real football is so funny whenever it comes to fantasy football because you're just like, man, I hope these people get the shit kicked out of them so my fantasy team does good.
You look at like last year and the Denver Broncos. C.J. Anderson, garbage, trash. Didn't really have a tight end to speak of. And then Demaryius had a pretty good year, and Emmanuel had a pretty good year, and Peyton was pretty crap.
Yeah.
And then they had Osweiler come in for a couple games and stuff. So, the real football and the fantasy football don't always match up.
Yeah.
Hey.
And, I mean, they got a championship with all that.
Yeah.
I mentioned Flacco earlier, and we just talked about Derek Carr. So Derek Carr is going to be it's going to be both sides of the ball. The Oakland and San Diego game is probably going to be fun to watch.
Man,
I don't know what the over-under is, but
it's got to be. I don't even want to say.
It's going to be. There's going to be some points on the table.
No question. I just hope it's not like the Giants New Orleans game that we were like, oh my god.
Yeah, but you've already seen so many games with Oakland this year be high scoring and close.
We got a better sample size.
Yeah, I mentioned Eli earlier. The game we're going to, both sides of the ball, Andy Dalton, and there's some people giving us hell. You did quarterbacks and receivers, right?
I did.
And they were talking about Dak being low, and it's not one of those things. He's in like the top 10 fantasy scorers as a quarterback. It's not one of those things where we're hating on him. But Cincy defense still has to be respected. It's like Pac-Man out there and perfect. It's just like, if the rookie mistakes are going to come out, it's a week for it. And I hope they don't because, of course, I'm a Dallas fan. But that's why he's got to be on that exterior, quarterback 2 range.
No doubt. I love Dak Prescott. I think finally we've got a backup that can win games in the absence of Tony Romo. And heck, Tony Romo may come back to no job. He'll just wear the headset the rest of the year. But he's up throwing now. Romo is, and they said he looked good doing it. But if Dak goes in and beats Cincinnati, Dak's probably going to keep the job.
Yeah, you never know. I don't even want to touch on that because it's like it's scary for me because it's my team, and it's like I love Romo and I love Dak, and it's just like just whatever happens, I'm good with it. Just as long as we win.
They look good, but that's all the Ezekiel Elliott train. That guy.
Oh yeah, it's probably gonna and I got crap because I ranked running backs and Elliott was I think Elliott was like 12. It's like okay, maybe he's not number 5 this week, but come on, I get it. He's gonna get the ball a lot, but like I said, Cincy against the run, they should be a lot better than what they were the first few weeks against the run. Coming into the season, everybody was like, man, there ain't nobody going to be running on Cincy. But
they got Montez Burfitt back. They've got, Gino in the middle, healthy. I mean, that helps.
Yeah.
That helps. It's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to come down to, can we stop A.J. Green?
No, no, we can't. But
I actually think Hill's going to have a pretty good game. I think he'll get hands on this week. I
definitely think that Jeremy Hill. I mean, I think Gio could probably have a good game too. We can't stop the run very well, but we cannot stop the pass.
No, we can't. But that's due to the pass rush. Our secondary is good.
Yeah, it is. It is due to the pass rush.
The question is what's up with Desmond Bryant?
Dude, I don't even know that I even want to go there with you.
No. I'm not going to start it on this. I just want to know if he's playing.
No, he's not.
He's not playing.
He's not going to play. I like Bryce Butler this week as a sneaky DFS play.
Yeah, I like Bryce Butler. Cole Beasley.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think we can win. I think that Dak spreads the ball around and finds the open guy, and he's really good. But it's going to be A.J. Green's going to go hang on a biscuit, and we're just going to have to keep up.
Yeah.
I hate talking about kickers, but Dan Bailey's got like a back issue. I have no idea if he's going to play or not, and that is going to be a game changer for us.
Man, he's one of the best kickers in the league.
Well, if we don't have him, then I mean that's a lot of our points.
Well, yeah, I mean we had that trouble getting in the end zone.
Yeah, so that's going to be an issue. So that's something that it's like the first time this year that a kicker for me I even paid attention. It's only because he's on my team. I want to kind of close the show with another segment. We started this show with the shit show segment, and I want to make another segment that's going to be fun to do every week, and it's called the Shit Sammy. And John Mitchell Howard is probably the king of the Shit Sammy, but Michael Shiggs might be up there with him. That's just what it is a sandwich that's made of shit that is sent to you via email, and it's asking you if you will take that shit sandwich and you will eat it and give a golden bar for it. That's what it is. That is what it is. It is a trade that is one-sided awful, and I just like to call people out on stuff like that. This week I saw one. It was now it looked like from the outside looking in, it was like, man, it might be a good trade, but it was Amari Cooper on the verge of breaking out. That's only on one side of the trade. On the other side was Devonta Freeman, Tevin Coleman, and Jeremy Maclin. So essentially it was Devonta Freeman for Amari Cooper, which, man, especially if you're hurting at receivers, I didn't like it at all. I thought, and I wasn't involved in this trade, but it's like, what gets me, the only reason I bring this trade up is maybe it's not as shit Sammy as we're talking about, but it's when people send you 3 people or 4 people for one, trying to just make that stack look like enticing. It's like the shit sandwich. It's a double meat. It's a double meat shit. It drives me crazy. And have you gotten any shit Sammys this week?
Yeah, I mean anything Brock sends me is complete garbage. And then you send him something decently legit and he scoffs at it, and it's like, okay, man, whatever. But I've gotten a lot of really bad trades for Melvin Gordon. Like Melvin Gordon for Jamison Crowder, straight up.
Oh my
gosh. No, I've had a lot of crappy trades for. Let's see, I've got Todd Gurley in a couple of leagues, and people think, oh my gosh, they're knee jerking on him. And they sent me some trash.
Dude, I sent somebody sent this to me. No, it was me. I sent a shit Sammy. It was a great shit Sammy though. It was week 1 or week 2, and Mike Wallace had just gone ballistic.
Oh, yeah.
He got like 20 points, and LaShawn McCoy got like 7. And so I was like, man, maybe this guy's down on, I can sneak one out. And I sent him Mike. He had no receivers. Mike Wallace for Shady. But more recently, let's see.
Did it get accepted?
No.
I want to clarify why you're looking. Okay, so when I receive it, it's a shit Sammy. When I send one, it's a feeler trade.
Yeah.
It's a feeler trade.
Only to Nolan.
Just get the conversation started.
Yeah, and I sent out the fair deal of feelers. I sent one out last week to my cousin Cody, and I was just like, I just want to get. As soon as I sent it, I was like, that's kind of terrible. I'm gonna go ahead and text him. I just want to get the conversation started. I want to get to him before the slap in the face, and then I ended up making a great deal. I got him TJ Yeldon. I know people are like TJ Yeldon, but it's a 0.5 carry league, and he was depleted at running back, and he ended up getting him like 25 points last week. So it ended up really working out.
You know who else sends really bad trades? Jeff Donahue. Jeff sends me some really bad trades. In fact, he sent me a bad trade. So he sent me a Sammy. So I slung one back his direction, and then he slung one back at me, and it was just like joke trades.
Yeah, you can set points sometimes when you're just like, oh man, I'm just gonna slap you back in the face.
So it got to the point where that league was so inundated with Sammys that I went to another league that I played in, and I sent him a Sammy in that league. And he didn't see it right off. He got declined like 2 days later. But I'm sure he thinks I'm trying to send him bad stuff. But he started it. So.
Every week I'm going to document a lot better because I want to do this segment. I had a lot of them, but I want to talk about them every week and have a shit Sammy segment. But that's all we got for today, and we did it from my office, my home. KJ represent. There it is. KJ represent. So there might have been some background noise, but it's actually, we didn't have the Yeti cups either this time, and we all know what's in the Yeti cup, so it's a lot different show because we're completely sober the entire time.
I'm not near as funny sober.
No, you know, I mean, I start talking about the C word a little bit, and it's just, you know what the next sentence I was going to say after I said that? It just comes out of my mouth.
I remember one, you were talking about the girl. Traits kind of like when you're dating a girl.
Yeah. Okay. You know, sometimes you just dig yourself into a hole and can't get out. But that's why we're so glad that you guys tune in to us and pay attention. This is fun. But hit us up this week with any questions. At Nolen T. Howard on Twitter, at fantasy_J.A.R.V.I.S on Twitter. Get Twitter. I know I say it every week, but seriously, get it. And we'll see if we can't do a show next week.
That's right.
We appreciate you guys for supporting us, and please share this video. Share it. Get the word out, and get our names out there for us. We'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks.